Hello, this is the strange story of the painting by us called Canvas of Varied Interpreted Direction number 19 or Covid-19. It began way back in May 2019 at the beginning of spring. The painting was to be part of a large triptych of compositions of classical figures under the water of a pool glowing in the waters of the cobalt, blues and turquoise. The narrative was to show that we live immersed in our habits, addictions and beliefs, comfortably floating submerged. The subjects of each painting would be presented from the neutral centrist viewpoint of our submerged world, and outside the pool, in the cold air, the unwelcoming reality of what is real and what we decide to keep immersed from. This particular picture was social media, a visual stimulation escapes. The frame of the figures was from the old illustration in the book of the Poetic Edda. The image representing the verse, "The roots stand on 3 ways under the Yach Yggdrasil." The objects held by the figures, being replaced by modern portals to the virtual world, are TVs of the palm, phones and tablets. As the summer progressed, we found ourselves exploring the Suffolk countryside, kayaking and walking and being free of the confines of the long winters. We took photos and videos of our days out and 4 a.m. sunrises across the Suffolk coast, as can be seen on our accounts. The love of our surrounding heaths, forests, coasts affects our practice, and we started to move back to the start to develop our skills, concentrating on the technical practice and smaller pictures, while the 3 large canvases sat quietly untouched in the understairs cupboard. We made a commitment and booked the Albert Peter Pears Gallery for September 2020, which gave us a goal to paint to, and along with our works reacting to the news, we started doing individual portraits of the 18 characters we had carefully selected to be in the new large centrepiece. The umbrella movement in Hong Kong became very dominant in the late summer. Hong Kong, a small annex of China running on a more democratic system to the mainland China, the residents had started mass protests over the proposed change to the law to extradite Hong Kong citizens to China or Taiwan for trial in reaction to a suspected murder case of a Hong Kong citizen of his girlfriend. The case has since been dropped. At the same time as this huge problem to the Communist Party in Beijing, more and more information was coming out of China about its reaction to Islamist terrorism and its re-education system it had adopted to try and prevent it. And on top of this, the Trump administration was going for an all-out trade war with China, with tariffs on everything from beans to steel. So we pulled out the picture and decided to capture the umbrella movement by painting in a cityscape around the 3 characters that were shaped in a triangle, and putting umbrellas in the hands of the characters, and the symbolistic face masks of the protesters we put on the faces of the 3 figures. The protests turned into riots and vandalism and a long occupancy of a university in Hong Kong. A person got shot at, other masked actors started attacking the protesters, and the police took casualties too. Protests had become anarchy, and small parts of the protests had become organised urban militia, attacking, then dispersing like water, which was a term associated with the movement towards the end. Dispersion like water, be like water, was adopted by the public protests around the world, notably the Extinction Rebellion. The bill was withdrawn in September, but the protests continued because they wanted full democracy. Then, with the bill being withdrawn, by December, the story had started to disappear from the news. The trade war was once again creeping back into the forefront of the news to fill the void. All 3 issues were still there, but not so big. At the same time, the province of Wuhan started reporting a strange like flu virus that was new to the world. It was killing people and spreading quickly. The Chinese response was amazing, building new hospitals within 10 days and locking down the residents of the entire city. Well, here we are now. The world is gradually locking down. Markets are all over the place. Trade wars are off the table. No big groups of people protesting. The news channels and people's full concentration is on the virus and each other's health, and the world is pulling together, apart from an oil spat between Russia and the Middle East. All of a sudden, everything changed, just like 9/11 and Chernobyl changed the world. So once again, the painting had to adapt. The final stage, we painted steam around the streets to represent the disinfectant-like spraying of sanitizer, sanitizing the new empty streets of issues. Then we locked down the entire painting in a grid of symbols, the past journey imprisoned behind the 2020 zeitgeist of the unknown virus. The symbols we used: knowledge, which represents what we know and what we quest to know to get a cure; chaos, the effect of the deadly virus on everyone's life around the world; toxic, the virus, not observing one's status, age, wealth, sex, nationality or borders, and even cruise ships; Covid-19, the painting that took a year.